record, state your name.
Tony Allen.
Yo. You got the floor?
Sir?
You got the floor?
Well, I just don't really have anything covered except for we're in a crisis right now in the correction facility, which everyone knows that the sheriff's number one responsibility is the jail. That we're currently 12 positions down, and you gotta remember that's a staff of 41. That is cutting each shift short 3 people, and we have no applications coming in. We've social media advertised it, word of mouth, just to let you know that whenever the budget comes around, that we will be presenting a budget to try to get better pay for the correction officers and keep these positions. Just yesterday, we was in an interview trying to hire one. I received a resignation of one leaving, so we are in dire need. We're in crisis.
Yes, I spoke with the sheriff on Tuesday morning, I believe. He told me it was a problem with that.
It is, and safety and security is number one. And our safety and security it's in crisis mode. It's not just us, it's across state and city. And just nobody wants to get in law enforcement. Nobody wants to get in law enforcement. So that's pretty much about what I need to present for today. Unless y'all have any questions, we'll be more than glad to answer them.
Any questions, anybody?
Yeah, I do. We just went through a raise to the sheriff's department. Did this not help this situation at all?
The raise barely covered the insurance rates.
After all
So,
that?
yeah. So,
When you started, Deb,
well, the correction is 1253, and the road is around 15 something. I don't know the exact numbers, but whenever you're making $12.53 an hour, nobody wants to work in corrections.
well, I understand that.
So,
That's fine. Nobody wants to work at McDonald's for $12.53.
yes, sir. You're correct, sir.
Road is road is
15 something. I would have to actually do it. I don't know the exact number on that one. I've actually been working on corrections all morning. The reason why I was able to give you the exact amount on that one.
And Chief, that don't count our personnel we were short of control. And,
That's correct.
School resource officers and somebody else.
Is there anything positive you want to tell us?
Yes, sir. I do.
I'd love to hear.
But I do feel that we have a body of county commissioners that listen and it don't fall on deaf ears. Except the sheriff tries his best to keep his budget down, but now we have got to a point where I do believe it's not going to fall on deaf ears. And I'm very pleased and proud of being in Hawkins County. And a lot of places don't have the support that Hawkins County does, and I'm very pleased with that.
You're gonna be at the budget meeting.
Oh, of course. I'd probably be out of a job if I wasn't. So, but I really do appreciate y'all's
Do you
time.
know when they are?
I know the dates. I don't know exact times of ours. I don't think that's been set yet. So, and I will tell you that a couple of things that will be coming up in budget that I forgot about. That we've got 40 vests that's getting ready to expire this year, and that's going to be in the budget this year. And of course, we always need some cars and all that stuff to the public safety side of it. And our computer system, which me and Director Campbell has been talking, that the computer system that runs your jail management system was in place in 1995 or 6. I can't remember exactly what year it was. And it has never been upgraded. So you know how much technology has changed since then. So that's something else that's going to be, that the sheriff will be presenting to you. So, but if y'all have any questions, don't hesitate to call the sheriff, me, whatever. We'll be more than glad to answer and show you what we do or show you anything at the sheriff's office.
Thank you, Mr.
All
Allen.
right, thank you.
911, William Campbell.
I'm Wayne Campbell. I'm the Executive Director for Hawkins County Emergency Communications District. I just have a couple things to go over today. First is our call volume. Our first quarter for 2022 incidents dispatched is 14,597. That is consistent with the first quarter of 2021. Our 2022 first quarter 911 and admin phone calls received is 24,282. And that's also consistent with the 2021 first quarter of calls received. As Chief Allen said, it's budget time, so I want to take just a second to mention the budget. The Emergency Communications District has 3 essential functions or services that we provide to the county. The first one is we're to provide a simplified means of securing emergency services. And when we speak about emergency services, we're solely talking about 911 calls. So our primary function is to receive 911 calls. That's our only required function. The second function that we provide at the request of the county is dispatching for the 24 public safety agencies in this county. We currently receive $175,000 to dispatch for 24 agencies. I have asked for an increase this year. We've done a study with all the counties surrounding us, along with the counties, the top 5 counties and the top 5, or the bottom 5 counties with our population, and we're the lowest funded district for dispatching. Over the last month, I've lost 3 dispatchers to the private sector. Those are dispatchers with experience. One of them was a 12-year veteran. We're no longer competing with other public safety agencies. We're now competing with McDonald's, Hardee's, Chick-fil-A, places like that pays much more than what a dispatcher makes. So the increase that I've requested would allow us, we currently work only 2 dispatchers per shift. Our call volume calls for 4.6. With the 2 dispatchers, we could handle just the 911 calls. We cannot properly handle all the dispatching for this county with just 2 dispatchers. So the funding that I've asked for will allow us to go to 4 dispatchers per shift and moves the starting pay consistent with that of other surrounding districts. As Chief Allen said, we're also in a crisis. My night shift is working 7 days a week right now, with no days off. When you only work 2 dispatchers per shift, you lose 3. That cripples an agency. So we're going to have to somehow increase our amount funded for dispatching to allow us to get more dispatchers. When you're only working 2 and your primary function is the 911 calls, you can't hang up with those people. I think I've spoke to you on 911 before. You may have, your person that you've seen fall or whatever. You can't hang up with these people while you're on the phone with them. I would hate to know that there's an officer out there needing help when we're on a 911 call. Yesterday I was on the phone with an elderly lady. Her only plea to me was to not hang up the phone with her until somebody got there. We can't do that with just 2 dispatchers per shift. We're going to have to increase. Good things is we have just upgraded our CAD system, so that will basically allow us to bring dispatching into the 21st century. I'll let Director Merle mention more on that if he wants to, what we're working with BMS with our new CAD system. Is there any questions?
No question.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell.
I think I gave these out at the last meeting. Does everybody have our annual report from last year?
I have one.
Okay. By this time, you should have received our financial audit for last year. I'm happy to say that the positive net change on that is a historical net change that our district has never seen. So.
I would like to clarify something. I was asked a question, ma'am. 1502 is the start. The most that a deputy can make is 1867.
1860.
It is the highest that they can make. That's in 8 years. And also, I need to clarify on, you spoke about that. That was 3 years ago that we worked on that. Last year, we didn't get a pay raise, and the year before.
That's right, you did.
So last year, there was no pay raises. So this,
I was gonna ask you after the meeting anyways, what is the number of deputies that you all are down right now?
well, actually, we lost 2 today. Is that right, Sheriff Lawson? Two left today. We got 3 SROs, 3 SROs gone, so that's 5. And we're probably gonna be down a court officer pretty soon too. So it's just not the jail, it's on the other side. But Sheriff, you can speak on the crisis at the jail, since you're here, sir, if you need to.
Sheriff Lawson.
Some of you been, Commissioner's been to the jail and done a tour, and I think if you haven't, I recommend that you do come and see what goes on. When you have 250, 280 some inmates, you know, have enough people, keep everything safe, make sure they get their medicine, get their meals, keep down the violence and jeopardize. I think we're about 11 down in the jail. Lost a detective, good narcotics officer, lost some SROs, patrol officers. I'm not getting a lot of applications. And when you start out 12.95 and 15, and you go to any of these temp services, start out somewhere else for 18, these people have to jeopardize their life like these correctional officers and law enforcement. Like TV, you see on TV how bad it is. You see in the papers and the media what we have to deal with. Just like where you're a county commissioner, or you're with EMS, rescue squad, or dispatch, whatever, experience makes a difference. And first responders don't have the experience, they may not go home. So we've been a training ground for years for other agencies. Now we're keeping people in the jail, and they're going to Walmart and different other things and making more money. It's just hard to keep people. When it comes budget time, I'll show you how much money Hawkins County is actually wasting and blowed, not making employees of Hawkins County a priority. It's just wasting time, wasting money. We can't just put a body in the jail. Just can't put a body on the road. Answer calls. That'd be highly trained, experienced, just like Eddie was talking about with the rescue squad. When somebody comes to help you, first responder, experience makes a difference. Training makes all the difference. And you can check our training records. I got some of the most highly trained professional officers in law enforcement in this region. We go above and beyond what's asked of us because I don't like people go home at night and any other shift. I'll answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Sheriff
Make
Lawson.
light of this, but I don't want to originally. I'm afraid you're getting
We'll make sure you're very safe.
it. Make sure I'm safe. I would like you to read that.
And also, we've asked for X-ray machines for the court side and for the jail.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how much contraband comes in on both the court side and the correction side. You can't do body cavity searches and stuff. They can also bring weapons in, it's hard to find also. And I hate to lose an officer because we weren't able to find something that X-ray machine would have.
Okay.
I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Sheriff Lawson. Appreciate it.
Just let me explain real briefly what they do, and I'll make it quick. The body scanners will be used in our jail and in the justice center to try to prohibit or try to seek out contraband. And the last couple of months, we've been finding urine on people who are coming to court because they're trying to thwart drug testing, which our officers, and I have a really great group of officers that work really hard to try to find these things. I mean, they work hard at this to try to prohibit this stuff. in the jail, they'll be there to try to find drugs coming into our jail, weapons and things like that. And they're expensive, I know that, but I want you to think about this. If a little bit of fentanyl gets into our jail and people start overdosing on it, not only will that cost medical bills, but it's gonna be really, really high. And the cost of just one machine in our jail may save us a life, may save a large amount of cost to the county for medical issues, may save a correctional officer from getting hurt when a weapon's hidden on a person that maybe a patrol officer didn't catch. These things are in use in Sevier County, Unicoi County, I think just recently purchased one. They're in use all across the nation. And if you've ever been on a flight within the last few years, in any airport, you probably walk through one. And that's basically the same type of machine. Really briefly, I just wanted to, sort of give you an overview of what they're for and how we use them. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Now, this machine is in addition to what you requested for security at the courthouse?
It is. This is solely for the Justice Center and the jail.
What?
Two different projects.
Okay. You have a number on what this would cost?
It's in the packet.
Okay, I'm sorry, I haven't had time.
Okay, it's in one of the packets, sir.
It's in there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
That's the latest quote is on top. It runs at like 156,000. That was the latest quote per machine, and that's pretty expensive. I know. But if we, have an officer get hurt or inmates get sick or something like that, it could be worth us, worth a lot more.
If we had this equipment in place, would that by any way help you with employment? People want to come to Hawkins County and work because they're making efforts, or would it?
Well, we'd be one of the few counties that have the equipment, that's for sure, especially in the Justice Center. Right now, I can't think of any Justice Center that has one. We would be sort of steps ahead, in the security field in this area. Some of the jails do have them, not many in this area. I think that if we sit down and talk to them, they'd probably tell us it's well worth it.
Have there been any situations that you're aware of where fentanyl was introduced into the jail?
Into our jail? No, but we've had all sorts of other drugs. I mean, we have to fight against that all the time. We had a gentleman that came into the Justice Center not too long ago who was going to go to court. He thought that because he was going to go to court, he'd probably go to jail, so he had a lot of drugs hidden on him. And we actually had to wrestle with him in our Justice Center lobby because the guards at the door found it. And right now, it's really pitiful. A lot of people who have drug addictions are more willing to keep up with that addiction than they are to try to get help. And thus, they try to thwart drug tests. And they're hiding urine on their bodies and things like this to try to thwart a drug test. And that's a charge. We charge them for that. And it's becoming an issue. And if the guards in the Justice Center can catch it before it gets to the jail, that's even better. So that's basically it. Fentanyl's becoming more and more available, more popular, along with heroin and some of the other stuff, and we're fighting a hard battle right now.
It's more deadly, isn't it?
It's very deadly. It's very deadly. I'm sure folks from EMS and rescue can probably tell you about that, and they can tell you about the number of overdoses we're now having because of this and other opioids. So it's a hard thing to fight. It is.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chris. I will be sitting on the budget committee, none voted, but I'll be there. They begin early April here. I don't have exact dates in front of me, but
Thank y'all very much.
May 10th.
May 10th.